Dr. Lisa Carter pressed her face against the small window of her exploration pod. The stars looked different out here, far from Earth. She had been traveling for 3 months now, studying new planets and looking for signs of life. The research. Ship Aurora was her home, but she spent most of her time alone in this tiny pod, floating through space. Lisa was a scientist who studied alien life forms. She had always dreamed of finding something amazing in the deep parts of space. Today felt special. Her equipment was picking up strange signals from a nearby star system. The readings were unlike anything she had seen before. "Aurora, this is Lisa," she spoke into her radio. "I'm getting some weird signals from the third planet in this system. Can you confirm?" Captain Jake Morrison's voice came through the speaker. "We see it too, Lisa. Be careful out there. We don't know what's causing those signals." Lisa smiled. Jake was always worried about her safety. He was a good captain and an even better friend. "Don't worry, Jake. I'm just going to take a closer look. I'll keep my distance." She pointed her pod toward the signals. The planet below was covered in blue and green colors, just like Earth. But something was wrong. The signals were getting stronger, and they seemed to be coming from space, not from the planet. Lisa checked her instruments again. Her heart started beating faster. There was something big out there, something that wasn't showing up on her regular scans. She tried to turn her pod around, but it was too late. A massive ship appeared out of nowhere. It was huge, maybe 10 times bigger than the Aurora. The ship was dark and covered in strange patterns that seemed to move and change. Lisa had never seen anything like it before. "Aurora, come in." "I need help," Lisa said into her radio. But only static came back. The alien ship was blocking her signals. A bright blue light shot out from the alien ship and wrapped around Lisa's pod. She tried to fire her engines, but they wouldn't work. The light was pulling her toward the massive ship. She was trapped. Lisa felt scared, but she was also excited. This was what she had been looking for her whole life. First contact with alien life. She just hoped they would be friendly. The alien ship had a large opening that appeared as Lisa got closer. Her pod was pulled inside, and the opening closed behind her. She was now inside the alien ship, and there was no way out. The inside of the ship was unlike anything Lisa had ever seen. The walls were smooth and white, and they seemed to glow with their own light. Strange symbols moved across the surfaces, changing colors as they moved. The air felt thick and heavy. Lisa's pod landed with a soft thud on a platform. She looked around through her window and saw that she was in a huge room. The ceiling was so high she couldn't see the top. There were other platforms around her, some with strange objects she didn't recognize. Suddenly, the door to her pod opened by itself. Lisa hadn't touched any controls. She sat still, not knowing what to do. The air from the alien ship flowed into her pod. It smelled strange, like metal and something else she couldn't identify. "Hello," Lisa called out. Her voice echoed in the huge room. "Is anyone there?" She heard a sound like footsteps, but they were different. They made a clicking noise, like claws on metal. Lisa's hands shook as she reached for her emergency kit. She had a small weapon, but she didn't know if it would work against aliens. 3 figures appeared from behind one of the platforms. Lisa gasped when she saw them. They were tall, almost 8 feet high, and they didn't look human at all. Their skin was hard and shiny, like crystal. They had 4 arms each, and their heads were long and narrow. Their eyes were large and dark, like black holes. The creatures moved slowly toward Lisa's pod. They didn't seem to be in a hurry. One of them made a sound that might have been talking, but Lisa couldn't understand it. The sound was like music mixed with the noise of breaking glass. Lisa climbed out of her pod slowly. She raised her hands to show she wasn't carrying a weapon. "I'm peaceful," she said. I'm just a scientist. I was studying your signals. The tallest alien stepped forward. It looked at Lisa with its dark eyes. She felt like it was looking right through her, seeing things she didn't even know about herself. The alien raised one of its arms, and Lisa saw that its fingers were long and thin, ending in sharp points. The alien touched something on its belt, and suddenly Lisa could understand what it was saying. The voice was cold and emotionless, like a computer. You are human, the alien said. We have been watching your species. You have entered our territory without permission. Lisa tried to stay calm. I'm sorry. I didn't know this was your territory. I can leave if you want. The alien made that glass-breaking sound again. Lisa realized it might be laughing. You will not leave, it said. You will be studied. We must understand what you are. The other two aliens moved closer. Lisa backed against her pod, but there was nowhere to go. She thought about Jake and the crew of the Aurora. They must be looking for her by now. She hoped they wouldn't try to rescue her and get hurt. What do you want to know? Lisa asked. I can tell you about humans. We're a peaceful species. We just want to explore and learn. The tall alien tilted its head. You will tell us everything. But first, you must be prepared for examination. One of the other aliens touched something on the wall. A section of the floor opened up, and a metal table rose from below. The table had straps and strange devices attached to it. Lisa didn't like the look of it at all. Please, Lisa said. I'll cooperate. You don't need to force me. But the aliens didn't seem to care what she wanted. They moved toward her, and Lisa knew her life was about to change forever. She thought about her family back on Earth and wondered if she would ever see them again. The last thing Lisa saw before the aliens grabbed her was a small light blinking on her pod's communication system. Maybe Jake was still trying to reach her. Maybe there was still Hope Dot, but as the aliens lifted her onto the metal table, Lisa realized that hope might not be enough to save her from what was coming next. The metal table was cold against Lisa's back. The aliens had strapped her down with bands that felt like they were made of the same crystal material as their skin. She couldn't move her arms or legs, but she could still turn her head to look around. The room had changed since the aliens brought her here. The walls were now covered with screens, showing strange symbols and numbers. Machines hummed and beeped all around her. The air smelled stronger now, like burning metal mixed with something sweet that made her feel sick. The tallest alien stood next to the table. Lisa decided to call him the leader since he seemed to be in charge. The other two aliens were working with the machines, touching screens and making those glass-breaking sounds to each other. What are you going to do to me? Lisa asked. Her voice sounded small in the big room. The leader looked down at her with those dark eyes. We will learn about you. Your body, your mind, your spirit. We must understand how humans work. A thin metal arm came down from the ceiling. It had a sharp point at the end that glowed with blue light. Lisa tried to pull away, but the straps held her tight. The metal arm touched her forehead, and she felt a sharp pain shoot through her head. Oh, Lisa cried out. Stop that. But the leader didn't stop. The pain got worse, like someone was digging around inside her brain with hot needles. Lisa could feel the aliens looking at her memories, seeing her childhood, her school days, her work as a scientist. Interesting, the leader said. You chose to study life forms that are not human. Why? Lisa gasped as the pain got a little less. Because I wanted to understand. I wanted to learn about other kinds of life in the universe. You wanted to find us, the leader said. It wasn't a question. I wanted to find someone, Lisa said. I hoped you would be friendly. The leader made that glass-breaking sound again. Friendly. An interesting concept. We are not friendly. We are superior. We study lesser beings to understand their place in the universe. Another machine moved closer to Lisa. This one looked like a large eye with many lenses. It pointed at her chest and made a scanning sound. Lisa felt warm, then cold, then warm again. Your body is weak, one of the other aliens said. Soft skin, fragile bones. How does your species survive? Lisa tried to think of a good answer. We're smart. We work together. We build tools and machines to help us. You build machines because you are weak, the leader said. Strong species do not need machines. The alien was wrong, but Lisa didn't want to argue. She was trying to stay alive and learn as much as she could about these creatures. Maybe the information would help her escape, or help other humans if she didn't make it home. What do you call yourselves? Lisa asked. The leader touched something on the wall, and the translation got better. We are the Zephyrians. We have existed for millions of your years. We have studied thousands of species across the galaxy. What happened to those other species? Lisa asked, though she was afraid of the answer. They were catalogued. Their information was stored. The weak ones were eliminated. The useful ones were kept for further study. Lisa felt cold. You killed them? We removed the ones that served no purpose. Resources are limited in the universe. There is no room for useless life forms. The metal arm came down again, this time touching Lisa's arm. She felt another sharp pain, but this one was different. It felt like the aliens were taking something from her body, not just looking at her memories. You are taking my blood, Lisa said. We are taking samples of everything, the leader explained. Your blood, your skin, your brain fluid. We will understand how every part of you works. Lisa watched as small tubes filled with red liquid. Her blood looked so normal, so human. She wondered what the aliens would learn from it. Your species has only recently left its home planet, the leader continued. You are like children playing with fire. You do not understand the dangers of space. We're learning, Lisa said. We're careful. We don't want to hurt anyone. You do not want to hurt anyone because you are weak, the leader said. Strong species take what they need. They do not ask permission. The scanning continued for hours. The aliens poked and prodded Lisa with their machines. They asked her questions about Earth, about human technology, about how humans thought and felt. Lisa answered some questions and stayed quiet for others. Learned that the Zephyrians had been watching humans for years. They had seen human ships exploring space, and they didn't like it. They thought humans were moving too fast, claiming too much territory. Your species grows too quickly, the leader said. You build colonies on planets that other species might need. You are like a disease, spreading everywhere. We're just trying to survive, Lisa said. Earth is getting crowded. We need new places to live. All species want to survive, the leader said. But only the strong deserve to continue. The weak must make room for the strong. Lisa felt angry. These aliens thought they were better than humans, just because they were older and had better technology. But she could see that they were cold and heartless. They didn't care about other living things. What makes you think you're better than us? Lisa asked. The leader stopped what he was doing and looked at her. We have conquered death. We have traveled between stars for millions of years. We have studied life in ways your species cannot imagine. We are superior in every way. But you don't create anything new, Lisa said. You just study and catalog and destroy. Humans create art and music and stories. We love each other. We help each other. Love is weakness, the leader said. It makes you do stupid things. It makes you take risks for others instead of thinking about yourselves. Lisa smiled, even though she was scared and in pain. That's what makes us strong. We don't give up on each other. The leader touched another control, and the pain in Lisa's head got much worse. She screamed and pulled against the straps, but they wouldn't break. "You will learn," the leader said. "Before we are finished, you will understand that your species is inferior. You will beg us to end your suffering." But even as the pain got worse, Lisa held on to her anger. These aliens thought they knew everything about humans, but they were wrong. They didn't understand what made humans special. Lisa thought about Jake and the crew of the Aurora. She thought about her family back on Earth. She thought about all the humans exploring space, trying to build a better future for everyone. The aliens could hurt her body and look at her memories, but they couldn't take away her hope. They couldn't make her believe that humans were weak or worthless. "You can torture me all you want," Lisa said through gritted teeth, "but you'll never break me, and you'll never defeat humanity." The leader looked at her with those dark eyes. "We will see," he said. "We have just begun." But Lisa could tell that her defiance was bothering him. The Zephyrians were used to other species giving up quickly. They weren't used to beings who fought back even when they had no hope of winning Dot, as the machines continued to probe and scan. Lisa made herself a promise. She would learn everything she could about these aliens. If she survived, she would warn humanity about the threat they faced. And if she didn't survive, she would make sure the Zephyrians remembered that humans never gave up without a fight. Lisa had been on the alien ship for 3 days. The Zephyrians never let her sleep for more than an hour at a time. They woke her up with bright lights and loud sounds, and continued their tests. Her body was covered with small cuts and needle marks where they had taken samples. Dot, the leader, stood over her with a new machine. This one was bigger than the others, with many wires and tubes connected to it. Lisa didn't like the way it hummed and sparked with electricity. "Today we will perform the final analysis," the leader said. "We will map every part of your brain and body. We will understand everything about how humans work." Lisa's throat was dry. She had been asking for water, but the aliens only gave her small amounts of strange liquid that tasted like metal. "What happens to me after your analysis?" "The process will extract all information from your neural pathways," the leader explained. "Your brain will be completely mapped. Your memories, your thoughts, your emotions, everything will be recorded." "And then?" The leader tilted his head. "Then you will no longer be needed. The process cannot be reversed. Your brain will cease to function." Lisa felt her heart start beating faster. "You're going to kill me. We are going to learn from you," the leader said. "Your death will serve a purpose. Your species will be properly catalogued." The other 2 aliens were setting up the machine. Lisa could see more metal arms coming down from the ceiling, each one with different tools attached. Some looked like drills, others like needles, and some she couldn't identify at all. "Please," Lisa said, "I've told you everything I know. I've answered all your questions. Isn't that enough?" "Words are not enough," the leader said. "We must see how your brain actually works. We must understand the patterns of thought that make humans believe they are important." Lisa pulled against the straps again, but they were too strong. The crystal materials seemed to get tighter when she struggled. "My people will come looking for me. They won't give up." "Your people do not know where you are," the leader said. "Our ship cannot be detected by human technology. Even if they find US, they cannot match our weapons." The machine was ready now. Lisa could see screens showing pictures of her brain from different angles. The images were incredibly detailed, showing every blood vessel and nerve. "Your brain is small compared to ours," one of the other aliens said. "Yet our scans show it is very active. How do you process so much information with such a limited organ?" "We use our whole brain," Lisa said. "We don't just think with logic. We use emotions and creativity and imagination. Emotions are inefficient," the leader said. "They cause errors in thinking. They make beings act against their own interests. No, Lisa said. Emotions make us stronger. Love makes us protect each other. Fear makes us careful. Anger makes us fight when we need to. The leader touched a control, and the first metal arm moved toward Lisa's head. She could see the sharp point getting closer to her skull. We will see how these emotions work. We will map every feeling you have ever experienced. The point touched Lisa's head, and she felt the worst pain she had ever experienced. It was like fire shooting through her brain, burning every thought and memory. She screamed and pulled against the straps until her wrists bled. Interesting, the leader said, watching the screens. The pain response is triggering increased activity in multiple brain regions. The human mind tries to escape suffering by creating new neural pathways. More arms came down, each one cutting into Lisa's head at different spots. She could feel the machines digging into her brain, pulling out pieces of her thoughts and memories. The pain was so bad that she couldn't think clearly. But through the agony, Lisa held onto one thought. She would not let these aliens win. She would not let them believe that humans were weak. You want to know about humans? Lisa gasped between screams. We never give up. We never stop fighting. Even when we're dying, we keep trying. The leader looked at the screens. Your brain is releasing chemicals that should make you unconscious, but you continue to resist. This is inefficient. Why do you not simply accept death? Because that's not who we are, Lisa said. Her voice was getting weaker, but her eyes were still fierce. We fight for each other. We fight for the future. We fight because life is worth fighting for. The machines were working faster now, pulling more information from Lisa's brain. She could feel her memories being torn away from her. Her childhood, her friends, her dreams for the future, all of it was being stolen by these cold, heartless creatures. Your species is driven by hope, the leader observed. Even when facing certain death, you believe things will improve. This is not logical. Hope is what makes us human, Lisa whispered. It's what makes us different from you. The leader made that glass-breaking sound. Hope is delusion. It prevents species from accepting their proper place in the universe. Lisa felt her strength leaving her. The machines had taken so much from her brain that she was having trouble remembering her own name. But she still had one thing left to say. You think you're superior because you've lived longer and have better technology, she said. But you're empty inside. You don't create anything. You don't love anything. You don't hope for anything better. The leader moved closer to her. We are perfect. We do not need the weaknesses that plague lesser species. You're not perfect, Lisa said. You're dead inside. You stopped growing and learning and becoming better. That's why you'll never understand humans. The machines were almost finished now. Lisa could feel her thoughts getting fuzzy and distant. Her heart was beating slower, and breathing was becoming difficult. You will be remembered, the leader said. Your information will be stored in our databases. Your species will be cataloged and studied. Lisa smiled, even though she was dying. You still don't get it. You can kill me, but you can't kill what I represent. Humans will keep exploring. They'll keep growing. They'll keep fighting for what's right. The leader looked confused. You are about to die. Your species will be marked for elimination. How? Can you still believe in victory? Because I know humans, Lisa said. We don't stay down. We learn from every defeat. We get stronger every time someone tries to destroy us. The machines beeped, and the screens showed that Lisa's brain activity was almost gone. Her heart was barely beating, and her breathing was very shallow. The final analysis is complete, one of the other aliens announced. All data has been extracted and stored. The leader looked at Lisa one last time. Your defiance has been noted and recorded. It will be studied along with all other aspects of your species. Lisa tried to speak, but no words came out. Her eyes were closing, and she could feel herself slipping away. But even as she died, she held on to her final thought. Humans never give up. No matter what happens, they never give up. The machines fell. Silent, the screens showed flat lines where Lisa's brain activity had been. The leader checked the readings twice to make sure. "The human is dead," he announced. "Prepare the body for disposal. The analysis is complete." But as the aliens began to disconnect their machines, something strange appeared on the screens. There was a small flicker of electrical activity in Lisa's brain, so brief that the aliens missed a dot deep inside Lisa's dying cells. Something was stirring. Something that had been sleeping in human DNA for millions of years, waiting for the right moment to wake up. The final analysis was complete, but Lisa Carter's story was far from over. The leader was reviewing the data from Lisa's brain when the alarm started going off. Red lights flashed throughout the room, and the Zephyrian computers made loud warning sounds that hurt to hear. "What is happening?" the leader demanded. One of the other aliens was staring at the screens in shock. "The human body is showing signs of neural activity." "But that is impossible. The subject died 37 minutes ago." The leader rushed to the monitors. The screens that had shown flat lines were now displaying small but growing patterns of brain activity. Lisa's heart monitor, which had been silent, was showing weak but steady beats. "Check the equipment," the leader ordered. "There must be an error in our systems." But the equipment was working perfectly. On the metal table, Lisa's body was beginning to change. Her skin, which had been pale and cold, was turning pink again. Her chest was moving up and down as she started to breathe. "This is not possible," the leader said. "No species can return from complete biological death. We have studied thousands of life forms, and none have ever done this." The alien at the computer console made excited clicking sounds. "The neural patterns are unlike anything in our database. The human brain is rebuilding itself, but it's different now. The pathways are stronger, more complex." Lisa's eyes opened. They were still brown, but now they seemed to glow with an inner light. She looked around the room calmly, as if she was seeing everything for the first time. "Hello," she said. Her voice was the same, but there was something new in it, something that made the aliens step back from the table. The leader pointed one of his sharp fingers at Lisa. "You were dead. Your brain showed no activity. Your heart stopped beating. How are you alive?" Lisa sat up on the table. The crystal straps that had held her down for days simply broke apart like glass. She looked at the pieces with mild curiosity, then turned back to the aliens. "I was dead," she agreed. "It was very peaceful. But then I realized I had work to do." "Work?" the leader asked. "What work?" Lisa stood up from the table. She moved differently now, with perfect balance and grace. "I need to teach you something. About humans. Something your analysis missed." The leader made a gesture, and the other two aliens moved to block the exits. "You will return to the table. We must study how you survived death." "No," Lisa said simply. "I'm done being your test." Subject. One of the aliens moved toward her, reaching out with his sharp fingers. Lisa moved faster than any human should be able to move. She grabbed the alien's arm and twisted it. The crystal-like material cracked, and the alien cried out in pain. "How did you do that?" The leader demanded. "Human muscles are weak. Human reflexes are slow." "They were," Lisa said. "But dying changed me. Your torture awakened something that has been sleeping in human DNA for millions of years." The leader backed away, his dark eyes wide with fear. "What are you talking about?" Lisa looked at her hands. They looked normal, but she could feel the power flowing through them. Humans are survivors. We've lived through ice ages, disasters, wars, and plagues. Every time something tried to destroy us, we adapted. We became stronger. She walked toward the leader, who continued to back away. Your torture pushed my body beyond its limits. You forced it to experience the worst possible trauma. And my body responded the way human bodies have always responded to extreme danger. It evolved, Lisa continued. It found a way to survive even death itself. The alien at the computer console was frantically typing. The neural scans show massive changes in the subject's brain structure. Her neurons are firing at 10 times normal speed. Her muscle fibers have increased in density. Her immune system is generating antibodies we've never seen before. Lisa nodded. I can feel it all happening. My body is repairing itself faster than your machines can hurt it. My brain is processing information at incredible speeds. I can see patterns and connections that I never noticed before. The leader tried to activate a weapon on his belt, but Lisa was there before he could draw it. She grabbed his wrist and squeezed gently. The weapon cracked and fell to the floor in pieces. You wanted to understand humans, Lisa said. Here's what you need to know. We don't just adapt to survive. We adapt to thrive. Every challenge makes us stronger. The ship's alarm system was getting louder. The leader looked at his console and saw that systems were failing all over the ship. What are you doing to our vessel? Lisa looked surprised. I'm not doing anything on purpose, but I think my presence is affecting your technology. My enhanced nervous system is generating electromagnetic fields that your systems can't handle. She was right. Everywhere Lisa had been, the Zephyrian equipment was malfunctioning. The machines that had tortured her were sparking and shutting down. The lights were flickering, and the air circulation system was making strange noises. You're destroying our ship, the leader said. I'm sorry about that, Lisa said, and she meant it. I'm still learning to control these new abilities. But I think this is what happens when you try to force human evolution. You get results you didn't expect. The leader was now pressed against the wall, as far from Lisa as he could. What do you want from us? Lisa thought for a moment. I want you to remember this day. I want you to tell other Zephyrians what happened here. Humans are not weak. We're not inferior. We're survivors, and we're still evolving. One of the other aliens tried to run for the exit, but Lisa was there. Before he could reach it, she didn't hurt him, but she blocked his way. I'm not going to harm you, but I need you to understand something. She looked at all 3 aliens. You made a mistake when you took me. You thought you were studying a primitive species, but you were actually poking a sleeping giant with a stick. The leader's voice was shaking. What will you do now? I'm going home, Lisa said. I'm going to tell my people what happened here. And then we're going to make sure nothing like this ever happens to another human. She walked toward the door, and the aliens moved aside to let her pass. The ship's systems were failing faster now. Lights were going out, and the artificial gravity was becoming unstable. Wait, the leader called out. How do we stop this? How? Do we save our ship? Lisa paused at the doorway. You let me go. You return me to my people. And you promise that Zephyrians will never again torture or kill humans for study. And if we refuse? Lisa looked back at them with her glowing eyes. Then you'll discover what else human evolution is capable of. And I don't think you want to do that. The leader made quick clicking sounds to his companions. They clicked back, and Lisa could sense their fear and confusion. These beings who had considered themselves superior to all other life forms had just learned that they were not at the top of the food chain. We agree, the leader said finally. We will return you to your people. We will not harm humans again. Lisa smiled. Good, that's the smart choice. As she walked through the ship toward her pod, The Zephyrian systems continued to fail around her. But Lisa was learning to control her new abilities. She focused on calming her nervous system, and the electrical interference began to lessen. She found her pod exactly where she had left it. The aliens had not damaged it, probably planning to study it later. Lisa climbed inside and started the engines. They worked perfectly. "This is Dr. Lisa Carter calling the Aurora," she said into her radio. "Jake, are you there?" Captain Jake Morrison's voice came through immediately. "Lisa, my God, we've been looking for you for days. Are you all right?" Lisa looked at her reflection in the pod's window. She looked the same, but her eyes were different now. They held knowledge and power that she was still learning to understand. "I'm fine, Jake," she said. "Better than fine, actually. I have a lot to tell you." As her pod flew away from the alien ship, Lisa could see the massive vessel behind her. It was dark now, most of its systems shut down. But she knew the Zephyrians would repair it and continue their journey through space. That the difference was that now they would remember what they had learned about humans. They would think twice before they tried to study or catalog another species without permission. Lisa was going home, but she was not the same person who had left. She was something new, something that had never existed before. She was the next step in human evolution, and she had been born from the worst trauma imaginable. The aliens had wanted to understand humans. Now they did, and Lisa suspected that knowledge would change everything. Lisa's pod docked with the Aurora 3 hours later. Captain Jake Morrison was waiting for her in the docking bay, along with Dr. Peter Hayes, the ship's medical officer. They both looked worried and tired. "Lisa," Jake said, rushing to her as she climbed out of the pod. "We thought we'd lost you. What happened? Where have you been?" Lisa looked at her friends and colleagues. They seemed smaller somehow, more fragile than she remembered. She could see their heartbeats through their skin, could smell their emotions, could hear the electrical patterns in their brains. "I was taken by aliens," she said simply. "They wanted to study me." Dr. Hayes stepped forward with his medical scanner. "Lisa, I need to check you over. You've been gone for 4 days. Are you hurt?" "I'm fine," Lisa said. "Better than fine. But Peter, I need to tell you something." "I'm not the same person who left this ship," Jake frowned. "What do you mean?" Lisa held up her hand. She concentrated, and her fingers began to glow with a soft blue light. Both men stepped back in shock. "The aliens tortured me," Lisa explained. "They pushed my body beyond its limits. They actually killed me, but something in my DNA activated when I died. Something that brought me back." Dr. Hayes was staring at his scanner. "Lisa, this is impossible. Your cellular structure has changed. Your nervous system is operating at levels I've never seen. Your brain is showing activity that shouldn't be possible." "I know," Lisa said. "I can feel it all happening. I can think faster, move faster, heal faster. I can see things I never noticed before." Jake was backing away slowly. "Lisa, you're scaring me. What did those aliens do to you?" "They woke something up," Lisa said. "Something that's been sleeping in human DNA for millions of years. A survival mechanism that only activates under extreme stress." She looked at both men with her glowing eyes. "I need you to contact Earth immediately. The scientists there need to know what happened. This could change everything about how we understand human evolution." Dr. Hayes was still scanning her. "Your body temperature is perfect. Your heart rate is exactly 60 beats per minute. Your breathing is completely regular. It's like your body has achieved perfect efficiency." "That's part of it," Lisa said. "But there's more. I can sense the electromagnetic fields generated by the ship's systems. I can feel the thoughts and emotions of everyone on board. I can even communicate with the ship's computers directly." She walked over to a control panel and placed her hand on it. The screens immediately lit up with information, displaying data, faster than any human could read it. The ship's computers are telling me about system status, crew locations, even the composition of nearby asteroids, Lisa said. I can interface with technology in ways that shouldn't be possible. Jake frowned. His voice. How is this possible? Humans can't do these things. Normal humans can't, Lisa agreed. But I'm not normal anymore. The aliens called their procedure the final analysis. They thought they were just extracting information from my brain. But they actually triggered an evolutionary response that's been dormant in our species. Doctor. Hayes was recording everything on his scanner. Lisa, we need to get you to a proper medical facility. Earth needs to study what's happened to you. I agree, Lisa said. But first, there's something else you need to know. The aliens who took. The Zephyrians, they've been watching humanity for years. They think we're expanding too fast, taking up too much space. Jake's expression became serious. Are they planning to attack us? They were, Lisa said. They saw us as inferior beings that needed to be eliminated or controlled. But now they're afraid. They've never seen a species that could evolve this rapidly under extreme stress. She walked to the main viewing window and looked out at the stars. The Zephyrians have been the dominant species in this part of the galaxy for millions of years. They study other life forms, catalog them, and decide which ones deserve to survive. But they've never encountered anything like what happened to me. Dr. Hayes was still staring at his readings. Lisa, your DNA has changed. There are new genetic sequences that weren't there before. It's like your body rewrote its own genetic code. That's exactly what happened, Lisa said. When I was dying, my cells activated emergency protocols that have been hidden in human DNA since our earliest ancestors. We're not just survivors. Peter, we're adapters. We can evolve in real time when we face extinction. Jake was pacing now. What does this mean for humanity? Are there others like you? Not yet, Lisa said. But the potential is there in every human. The right combination of stress and trauma could trigger the same response in anyone. She turned back to face them. The Zephyrians made a critical error. They thought they could break human spirit by studying our worst fears and our reactions to pain. But human spirit isn't something you can break. It's something that gets stronger under pressure. Dr. Hayes looked up from his scanner. The genetic changes you've undergone, they're not random mutations. They're organized, purposeful. It's like your body knew exactly what to do to become stronger. Because it did know, Lisa said. Humans have survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, plagues, and countless other disasters. Every time our species faced extinction, the survivors passed on genetic information about how to adapt. That information has been building up for millions of years. Jake stopped pacing. So what happens now? Now we go home, Lisa said. We tell Earth what happened. We share what I've learned about the Zephyrians and about human potential. And we prepare. Prepare for what? Lisa looked out at the stars again. The galaxy is full of species like the Zephyrians, beings who think they're superior to everyone else. They've been picking off younger species for millions of years, preventing them from reaching their full potential. She clenched her fists, and the lights in the room flickered. But they made a mistake when they chose to study humans. They woke up something that's been sleeping for a very long time. Dr. Hayes backed away as the electronic equipment around Lisa began to hum with energy. Lisa, you need to calm down. Your electromagnetic field is affecting the ship's systems. Lisa took a deep breath and the humming stopped. Sorry, I'm still learning to control these abilities, but you see what I mean. The Zephyrians thought they were studying a weak species. Instead, they created something they've never seen before. Jake looked thoughtful. Do you think other humans can develop these abilities? I think so, Lisa said. But I hope they won't have to go through what I went through to get them. There has to be a better way to trigger human evolution than torture. And death. Dr. Hayes was making notes on his tablet. We'll need to run extensive tests. When we get back to Earth, the scientific community needs to understand exactly what happened to you. Agreed, Lisa said. But we also need to prepare for the possibility that the Zephyrians won't keep their promise. They agreed not to harm humans again, but fear makes beings do stupid things. She walked back to the control panel and placed her hand on it again. This time, she accessed the ship's communication system directly, without using her voice. Jake, I'm sending a message to Earth Command. Her voice came through the speakers, even though her mouth wasn't moving. They need to know about the Zephyrian threat immediately. Jake stared at the speakers. How are you doing that? I'm thinking the message directly into the communication system, Lisa explained. My brain can interface with electronic systems now. It's like I've become part human, part machine. Dr. Hayes was shaking his head in amazement. The implications of this are staggering. If humans can evolve this rapidly, we might be capable of adapting to any environment, any threat. That's what scares the Zephyrians, Lisa said. They've been the dominant species for so long, they can't imagine being replaced. But evolution doesn't care about who's been in charge the longest. It only cares about who can adapt the fastest. The communication system beeped, indicating that Lisa's message had been sent to Earth. In a few hours, scientists and military leaders would know about the Zephyrian threat and about Lisa's transformation. What do you think will happen when word gets out? Jake asked. Lisa considered the question. Some people will be afraid. They'll see me as something dangerous, something that shouldn't exist. Others will be excited about the possibilities. They'll want to study me, maybe even try to replicate what happened. She looked at her friends with eyes that glowed softly in the dim light. But mostly, I think people will realize that humanity is not what we thought we were. We're not just intelligent apes who learn to use tools. We're something much more. Dr. Hayes was still taking readings. Your body is continuing to change. Even now, the cellular regeneration is accelerating, and your neural pathways are becoming more complex by the hour. I can feel it, Lisa said. It's like I'm becoming what humans were always meant to be. The Zephyrians thought they were studying a primitive species, but they were actually looking at a butterfly that hadn't emerged from its cocoon yet. Jake walked over to the viewing window and stood next to Lisa. Do you think there are other species out there like us? Species that could evolve under pressure? Maybe, Lisa said. But the Zephyrians have been very good at eliminating potential threats before they could develop. They've had millions of years to perfect their methods. She placed her hand on Jake's shoulder, and he felt a warm, comforting energy flow through him. That's why what happened